Why do teenagers often procrastinate? Hey there, today, I want to share a super interesting topic that I bet many parents will nod along to as soon as they hear it. Why do our kids, especially those teens, procrastinate so much? It's not always because they're lazy. You know, there are deeper reasons behind it. I'll break it down for you bit by bit. From expert insights to some cool tips to help them kick that "I'll do it tomorrow" habit. Ready? Let's dive in. First, we'll explore what procrastination really is, why it's not just laziness, and how we can understand our kids instead of getting mad at them. Then, I'll share a real life story from an expert, dive into the root causes, and suggest ways to help our teens break free from this cycle. Sound fun? Let's get started. Procrastination isn't just laziness. Hey, have you ever seen your kids at home glued to their phones for hours while their homework sits untouched in a pile? And you're there, itching to yell, "Why are you so lazy?" But hold on, experts say procrastination isn't always about laziness. It's more like an emotional trigger that kids don't know how to turn off. Let me explain it to you in detail. Procrastination. Well, it's not that kids don't want to do anything. It's tied to their emotions and how they manage their behavior. For example, they know they need to do their homework, but they keep staring at their phone screens because that instant comfort feels way more appealing. And this habit? It's not easy to shake off. If it drags on, it can lead to some tricky consequences. But if we understand where it's coming from, we can help them change step by step, without slapping a lazy label on them. Makes sense, right? A funny story from an expert. Now, let me tell you a true story that I found both hilarious and thought-provoking. It's about Dr. Elisa Crossfield, an expert on teen emotional health. After hearing this, you'll see that even adults like us can relate to our kids sometimes. So, Dr. Elisa was lounging on her couch, phone in hand, eyes glued to the screen, while her laptop sat open, completely ignored. Right then, a text popped up from a stressed-out teen. "I know I need to do my homework, but I can't get started. I'm so lazy." Dr. Elisa burst out laughing, because she was procrastinating too. She was supposed to work on her article, but she kept putting it off since scrolling on her phone felt so much better. See? Adults and kids alike fall into this trap sometimes. But the teen's story gets even more interesting. Stay tuned for more. The real reasons behind procrastination. Alright, let's dig into the main question. Why do kids procrastinate? It's not because they lack ability or don't want to do things. It's a bunch of complicated emotions pulling the strings behind the scenes. Listen up, I'll explain step by step. And I promise you'll be surprised. Honestly, we've all procrastinated at some point. Not just kids, right? Sometimes I even justify it with productive procrastination. Like, instead of tackling urgent work, I'll clean out my closet and tell myself, well, at least I got something done. But the truth is, the important stuff still sits there, untouched. It's the same with kids. They know what they need to do, but they keep avoiding it. And here's the thing. Procrastination isn't easy to quit. The more we blame ourselves for being lazy, or worse, scold our kids for it, the harder it gets to break free. For teens, being labeled lazy by adults can make them feel even worse. Experts say procrastination isn't about laziness, it's about struggling to manage emotions. Sounds strange, huh? Let me break it down more. When kids procrastinate, it's often because they can't handle the feelings tied to the task. For example, doing homework might make them anxious, scared they won't do well, or bored because it's not fun. Some even procrastinate because they're unsure of what they want, stuck in a mess of tangled thoughts, afraid of failing or not being good enough. Take the teen Dr. Elisa mentioned. She was a great student but slowed down due to panic attacks. Homework made her anxious because she feared falling behind her peers. So instead of facing it, she avoided it to feel better in the moment. In short, procrastination isn't some huge flaw or a sign of bad time management. It's how kids cope with tough emotions like boredom, anxiety, insecurity, or self-doubt. They choose procrastination for instant comfort, even though they know finishing the task would pay off in the long run. Teens are especially prone to this because they're still learning to regulate their emotions. Don't you feel a bit sorry for them now? But don't worry, I'll share how to help them soon. How can we help kids overcome procrastination? Okay, here's the best part. How can we support our kids to break this procrastination cycle? There's no magic cure, heck. Even adults like us still procrastinate sometimes. But there are some small, practical tips that can make a big difference over time. Listen up. First, instead of focusing on what they haven't done, figure out what emotions they're avoiding. If they're scared of homework because they don't get it, sit down and chat with them to ease that worry. Don't jump to, "You're so lazy." That just makes them feel worse. Next, explain that avoiding tasks feels good now. But it's only temporary. The longer they delay, the worse it gets later. I tell my kid, "Hey, finish it early, and you'll free yourself from all that stress." It clicks for them, and I don't have to nag as much. Another trick? Offer small rewards to lure them in. Like, finish your homework, and you can watch a movie, or take a break mid-task for a snack they love. I also encourage them to reward themselves. Like, "Great job." Give yourself a pat on the back. Sounds simple, but it works wonders. The most important thing, though, is breaking goals into bite-sized pieces. Big tasks overwhelm them, so I say, you don't have to do it all. Just try one math problem first. Once they finish that, they feel more confident and keep going. Like Dr. Elisa's teen, rather than catching up with the whole class. Doing just one task was enough to show her she could do it. That made it less daunting, and she avoided it less over time. So, what do you think? Procrastination isn't just a kid thing. We all do it, right? The key is understanding and supporting them, not judging. Give these tips a shot. Maybe your house will have a new superhero who gets stuff done on time. Hee hee. Chatting with you about this was so fun. Let's do it again next time.